G'day everyone and welcome to the GWM IRONMAN 70.3 Melbourne Athlete Briefing. My name's Paddy Haythorn, I'm your race director for this event. From Triathlon Australia we have Christina Thorne as our race referee, we have Kiralee Gwynnon as our technical delegate and Kim Summers as our chief race official. Just like to start off today's briefing by respectfully acknowledging that this event is held on traditional lands of the Kulin Nations and we pay our respects to elders both past, present and emerging. So in today's briefing I'll give you an overview of the Athlete Information Guide, the event schedule for the weekend, an overview of some maps of venue and check-in. I'll go through what you'll receive in your athlete items pack and what you'll need to do on race morning. Go through the course reviews and I'll finalise with some last minute points and some tricks and tips for the event. So the Athlete Information Guide is your go-to place for everything up to date on every single aspect of this event. The Athlete Information Guide will have been emailed to you, it's available on the website, it's also available on our social channels as well for you to review. I highly recommend having a look through this as it tells you everything A to Z about the event. So into the event schedule now. We open doors in Catani Gardens on Friday the 10th of November at 2:30 p.m. So we'll open up our merchandise and expo as well as athlete check-in will commence and that'll roll through till about 6:50 in the evening on Friday. Into Saturday we have an Iron Kids race at 8:30 a.m. down on Pier Road out the front of Catani Gardens, and then the village with check-in, merch and expo will be open from 9 a.m. through till 4 p.m. So continuing on Saturday now, from 9:30 a.m. we'll have compulsory bike racking open in Catani Gardens and that'll be open through till 4:15 in the afternoon. At 12:30 there'll be a final race update and Q&A with myself and Pete Murray in Catani Gardens. There's 3 transition tours throughout the day and at 1 o'clock there'll also be a pro panel for you to get some information from the best in the business. Into race day, Sunday the 12th of November. Transition will be open from 4:45 a.m. and that will remain open for an hour till 5:45 a.m. At 6 a.m. down at the St Kilda Beach we'll have a welcome to country, followed by the pro male start at 6:05, pro female at 6:07 and then into the rolling age group start at 6:15 a.m. Once the race is all wrapped up, the bike collection will be open in transition from 12:30 through till 3:45. Finish line will be open until 3:30 p.m. approximately, and then at 3:45 we'll move into our roll down and awards ceremony in Catani Gardens as well. So as I mentioned earlier, Catani Gardens is our event venue hub for this race. Down in St Kilda, and Catani Gardens is going to hold everything from expo, check-in, merchandise, the stage for all the presentations, transition, finish line recovery, bike entry exit, run entry exit. So it's got everything will be based in here, plenty of room for spectators as well. So when you check in on either Friday or Saturday you'll receive your race kit. In your race kit you'll have your athlete wristband, your tattoo number, your race bib, your bike seat post number, your helmet sticker, stickers for your bags, your bike pump sticker, your swim cap and finally your street gear bag. So just on transition check-in on Saturday, again that's located in Catani Gardens in the event hub, must be done between 9:30 a.m. and 4:15 p.m. You can pre-book your time on the website. When you do come down on Saturday, make sure you have your athlete wristband on and your bike seat post number sticker on the bike. Just make sure that you do take your helmet home with you as you will need it to enter transition on race morning. So timing chips are distributed at transition during bike check-in on your way out. On race day, make sure you securely fasten it to your left ankle during the race and make sure you do return it back once you are finished the race. Just remember, if you don't have a timing chip whilst you're on the course, there's no validation of you completing the course and therefore you won't have a race time. If you have lost your timing chip at any time, just let any of the Ironman staff know and we'll be able to issue you with a new one. And if you do need to withdraw mid-race, please make sure you do let one of the Ironman staff know and hand your timing chip back to them as well. Just some info for those competing in a relay team for this event. All relay team members must be present at athlete check-in. So then on race day, your timing chip acts as your baton between each team member. So each team member needs to fasten it to their left ankle to continue the race. Your handover point is at the bike rack in transition. All relay team members need to wear their wristband to complete the race, and only the run leg member needs to wear their race bib for the race. Once you're finished, all team members can run down the finish chute. You just have to make sure that you are wearing your athlete wristband to get down. So we've got a great team of bike mechanics coming down from Bike Now. They'll be available on Saturday at Bike Check-In for any minor repairs and any tune-ups that you need. They'll also be available pre-race in transition as well for you. Out on the course, we'll have 3 on motorbikes roaming the course for any emergency repairs, punctures and the like, and any assistance that you need. So race morning, pre-swim start. Again, transition is open from 4:45 through till 5:45, so make sure you are in early. Don't rush yourself when you get to transition. To get into transition, you must have your helmet done up. You need your athlete wristband, your tattoo and your timing chip on as well. You can also bring in your bike shoes, run shoes, any nutrition or hydration that you need, and make sure you bring your swim cap and goggles with you as well. Just some info on water temperature and wetsuit rulings. Given historical data around this time of year in the Port Phillip Bay region, the water tends to sit at about 17 degrees, so that would lead to a wetsuit optional swim. But an official wetsuit decision will be announced on race morning, with a preliminary one on Saturday morning as well. So pre-swim start, you'll be entering into transition from the bike entry exit area up here where my cursor is. Head down to your specific rack and drop your stuff off at your bike, do whatever you need to do. You'll then head out down this way and then straight along here past the medical tent here where street gear drop off will be in here. Straight down past the bunch of toilets here for you guys if you need them, and then down onto Pier Road to head down to St Kilda Beach for swim start. So just before we get into the fun stuff of the courses, I just want to remind everyone that the 2023 rules and regulations are the responsibility of athletes yourselves, and it is also your responsibility to know and follow the course on the day. So the Roker swim course, a 1.9 kilometre course for 1 lap. So before we get into that, just to let you know, if you are looking to have a swim warm up, please make sure you aren't interfering with any of the course infrastructure and you are out of the water before 6 AM, as we will have our welcome to country at 6 AM. We'll be doing a rolling start from the beach, rolling off from 6:15 AM. So that means you can line up according to your swim time as the start zones below here. And faster swimmers obviously go first, followed all the way through to the slowest swimmers over 41 minutes. 4 turn buoys along this course. Green turn buoys are for left turns and pink turn buoys are for right turns, with the orange buoys as sighting cans. When you exit the swim course, it's about a 600 odd metre run from swim exit up to transition. For those that have competed in this event before, we will be carpeting the run all the way through to transition as well, to go easy on your feet before you get onto the bike course, which is a nice little treat. So if you are in the swim, obviously safety is priority. If you aren't feeling up to it, if anything is not right, make sure you stop and raise your arm, and we'll have our surf life-saving guys from Jan Juck come over to you and assist you in any way. And if there is, for any reason, any swim cancellations or contingencies, we'll communicate this latest on race morning via the PA in transition and let you guys know what will happen. If you are withdrawing from the swim, make sure you are letting yourself known to an IRONMAN staff member and check in with them, and also just make sure you drop your timing chip off to them as well, please. So for T1 swim to bike, you'll be coming up Pier Road here and essentially following the opposite flow of the run course flow. So you'll turn up here, run around the rotunda here, and we'll kick you in to transition at this sort of spot here, where you'll be able to run down to your row, run up and grab your bike from wherever your rack is, and then head up, out through here of bike exit and on to Beaconsfield Parade, where you're out onto the bike course. So the bike course along Melbourne's famous beach road, it's a 2-lap course totalling in 90 kilometres. The whole way as well will have a complete road closure for the length of the course. We'll have about every 15 kilometres marked along the way, with 3 mechanics roving on motorbikes, as I mentioned, and also a SAG vehicle roving the course as well. There's 2 aid stations you hit along the way for a total of 4 passes. They're both down in the sort of Brighton Hampton area, as marked on the map just here. B1 is at 14 and 59 kilometres and B2 is 36 and 82 kilometres. Penalty box is on Beaconsfield Parade just outside of Catani Gardens, just prior to transition, which you'll pass twice as well, just before your lap point. Careful on the road, as we do have a complete road closure, but there is vehicle slip lanes for resident access along the way, so make sure you do stay out of them, stay in the centre lanes when you are riding, and just be considerate of any physically challenged athletes along the way as well. So as I mentioned, with the 2 aid stations we have on the bike course, at both of these we'll have water, Gatorade in bidons, and also some High Five bars and Morton gels there for your nutrition. Both aid stations will have 2 toilets and a litter zone. Just make sure if you are dropping any litter, you are doing it inside these zones and nowhere else along the course, otherwise you will receive a penalty. And just take note whilst you're going through bike aid stations, use safe riding techniques, hop off your TT bars, slow down and stick to the ride if you aren't taking anything. So just a note on some Triathlon Australia drafting, blocking and passing rules. This is, along with all of our other races, a non-drafting race, so that means keep 12 metres from the other bike in front of you. And then riding in the passing lane on the right after completing a pass can result in a blocking penalty as well. For more information on this, see the Triathlon Australia website. They've got really good resources to explain how best to practice this, as well as our transition tours on the Saturday. We'll have some Triathlon Australia representatives there that will be able to give you a bit more information. So again, if you are given a penalty, there's obviously 3 different types of cards, being yellow, blue and red, with different penalties accordingly to them. If you are shown a penalty, you need to serve your penalty at the penalty box tent, which is, as I mentioned, just before Catani Gardens at transition. It's going to be clearly marked, but it's at the 44.5 and 89.5 kilometre marks, respectively, for each lap. So once you've completed your 90 kilometres on the bike course, you'll come up along Beaconsfield Parade and peel off at the lap point where the dismount line will be, and head into transition here through the bike entry exit. Again, down to your specific row, to your specific rack, drop your bike off, put your running shoes on, head straight down all the way up to the top end of transition here where the run exit and timing point will be. Run all the way down again around the rotunda and out onto Pier Road onto the run course. So the Hoka run course, 21.1 kilometres with a 2-lap course. Always running clockwise for this one, so that means keep to your left at all times. Just something to note, given the high priority of the land down here, it is a shared pathway with public, cyclists and walkers, so just keep that in mind, be respectful if you are passing people. There's 3 aid stations split along the course, totalling in 10 passes. We'll have every 2 kilometre marked as well. And the aid stations are about 2 kilometres apart from each other along the way. So as I mentioned, 3 aid stations with a total of 10 passes. R1 and 2 are both double-sided aid stations, so you hit it either direction, and R3 is only single-sided. At each aid station we'll have water, Gatorade, cola, some fruit and food, some High Five bars, Morton gels, toilets, and again a litter zone as well. At R2 we'll be offering Red Bull as well, so that's our Red Bull station. So once you've completed your 2 laps and gotten to the end of the race, you'll make your way up, do a little U-turn up here on Pier Road, come back down Pier Road, and at the lap point here enter into Catani Gardens and go down the glorious finish chute and soak it all up when you're down there. So when you do get to the finish line, some volunteers will be there to meet you and briefly just sort of assess you and check you're all good. Medical assistance will be there if it's required. You will get a finisher medal and a towel when you cross the line. Please remember to take your time and chip off and drop it off at the recovery area on your way through. In recovery, we've got food, drink, a bunch of different options. We're introducing ice cream, chocolate milk and fruit cups at this race again. And then street gear bag pickup will be available in recovery as well. Just remember, when crossing the finish line, it's an athlete only zone, please. So that means if you are thinking about bringing family or children or friends down the finish line, that will result in a disqualification. So you can only enter the finish with an athlete wristband. As I mentioned earlier, relay team members are allowed to join their run leg member down the finish line. You'll jump into the finish line about 80 metres down the finish line and make sure you have your wristband on as well. So both your cumulative and intermediate cut-off times for the swim, bike and run are based on your individual start time in this race. So the below cut-off times show your maximum times at each location. For the swim, we're doing hour 10 cut-off, swim bike 5 hours 30, and swim bike and run is 8 hours 30. Any more information on this is available in your AIG as well. If you aren't able to reach one of these cut-off times, you'll no longer be able to continue racing and your result will be classed as a DNF. So we have an awesome team of medical professionals from Medical Edge helping us out on site and all across the course. They'll be well spread out, as well as Ambulance Victoria. So just remember, when you're there, priority number one is look after yourself. If you're not feeling good before the race, don't start the race. If you're not feeling good during the race, get some help, let someone know, and we'll be able to get a medical professional to you. Priority number two as well is always to look after someone else around you. So if you see someone not feeling great or not doing well, sing out and get help for them as well. Our wonderful volunteers, we've got about 250 volunteers from the local community all across Melbourne that are going to come down and support the race Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You'll be able to see them easily identified in red volunteer t-shirts. Please remember to thank them on your way through whenever you do see them, and be kind and courteous to them as we want them to come back next year, because without them we can't hold this race. So the award ceremony and roll down will be held at Catani Gardens on the stage area post race starting at 3:45 p.m. If you are one of the top 3 athletes in your age category, you must attend, and if not possible, just let us know. After we complete the age group awards ceremony, we'll move into the IRONMAN 70.3 World Championships roll down, which is for Taupo in New Zealand on the 14th and 15th of December next year. So we've got 50 age group qualifying slots, as well as 15 extra women for try qualifying slots. Make sure you are there at least 15 minutes early, and if you are wanting to accept a slot, make sure you bring a credit card, physical credit card, and a photo ID so you can register. So that will be kicking off from 4:15 again at the stage in Catani Gardens. So that's about it from me today, guys. Any questions or any points that you aren't quite sure on, have a look through your AIG, and if you can't seem to find it in there, feel free to reach out over email or phone call, and we'll be able to get an answer for you there. Other than that, not too long to go, and I can't wait to see you at the finish line, and a massive good luck from me. Cheers.